Today we're watching Foolish's sub 4-minute speedrun. The world record by a landslide. 3 minutes and 54 seconds. Is that right? I have not watched it. Foolish gave us permission to check this out and see what's going on here. I haven't watched a Foolish speedrun since before 1.0. Technically, I think Foolish had a sub 4 minute before 1.0, but there was quite a few changes now. So it's definitely different. It's definitely harder, I would say, to get sub 4 minutes. At least it feels that way to me. And this is just going to be a wild ride, no doubt. And by the way, in case any of you missed it, Foolish has also completed 67 Fear on the surface. World first, baby. I'll have a link in the description if you want to check that run out. But make sure you check out Foolish's channel anyway. But yeah, Foolish is going to have some commentary of his own, so we'll check it out. And I'll try to pause and kind of like analyze things or talk about things. Maybe I can dumb things down if we need, but let's get going.
Hello, everybody. All right, getting into the run. This run is obviously on the aspect of Medea. It is the fastest aspect in the game for speedruns. Probably by a decent margin.
That Rarify, he was able to choose it like really fast after.
To Medea, but it is pretty definitively the best overall. Now the most common start you'll see on Medea is the Zeus special. If you don't know, Zeus special works really well on Medea. If you get any amount of attack damage boost in your attack special combo, the attack damage will instantly proc in just one like attack special combo. It's quite strong. You'll see it used in most runs. Here I get an early Hestia boon. Hestia is pretty good. Scorch in speedruns is actually pretty underwhelming. It's a damage over the time effect.
Yeah.
Which is generally just not going to be as great. But she has a lot of good utility, like Snuffed Candle and Flash Fry, which we picked up, which is great.
Yeah, I mean, in an aspect like Medea, you're just doing so much instant damage that relying on something like Scorch, which requires time to actually deal the damage, just doesn't really make sense, right? You can just get so much more instant damage instead of that, basically. Only controller gets that annoying delay on Rarify after you reroll. Whoa! It's an objective RTA advantage for mouse. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm going to have to talk to Amir about this thing. I was going to say, because I don't think I've seen footage of anyone else rarifying and choosing a boon so instantaneously until now. But God, that's kind of messed up. Amir, thanks a lot. I'm going to guess the Danae Dagger and the Spark get bought here.
Here, I'm debating taking Danae Dagger.
I decided to do it.
The only reason I was hesitating is because I plan to pick up Hera Attack here, which effectively makes the Danade useless. However, I figure having the 200%
Hera's attack is kind of interesting.
Just the mini boss is still worth it.
Yeah, worth 10 gold.
Since Danade only costs like 10 gold. So here we get pretty lucky. We get Artemis, which is obviously good. When Artemis is here, she pauses the in-game timer, which is what we use to time runs for the speedrun leaderboard.
You gotta wait for her arrow here.
Really good boons as well that you want. Here, if you wait until Artemis
Foolish is gonna
aims at the last enemy before killing them, and you kill them during that time, it makes certain that Artemis will spawn into the room straight away after the room ends, which helps save some time. We pick up Vital Signs from Artemis, which is one of her best boons, and then we get Possessed Array from our first hammer in the shop, which is probably
every
the best
single free chamber.
It does require a gain, so it's not going to do too much instantly, but once you get a gain and the setup for it, it is by far the most damage increasing hammer you can get. Now we're getting all our skip runes here. It's a very lucky Erebus. We got Fountain, we got Cocoons, we got Arachne. This last room was also really good. It's pretty rare to get a one wave in the last room of Erebus, but we got it. Here I'm debating Hestia. I thought about Cardio Gain for a minute, but I decided
it's pretty weak. Ooh, Epic Candle.
I didn't want it, and we ended up hitting an Epic Snuff Candle, which is pretty good. So, going into Hecate at 43
seconds. I have never reached...
Hecate entry.
I have 600 attempts at any percent, and I have never reached Hecate in under 50 seconds. Never mind 43 seconds. Every single free chamber's hit. It is very interesting that Foolish passed up on a Spark of Ixion, but it kind of makes sense. You know, the free Chaos Gate early on there, because I think we were entering a mini-boss chamber, right? And it was just extremely, extremely likely that you're going to get one of those free chambers coming out of it, it seems to me. whether it be the mid shop or Arachne or something like that. But it is interesting, nevertheless.
Generally, anything under a minute is what I was.
We don't have
taking
anything for
while
quick
grinding
witches
out the
here.
Sub 4. Hecate on average is around 20 to 25 seconds, sometimes faster, sometimes slower, but generally within that range. So anything sub-minute I was pretty happy with my Erebus exit.
Wow, good start in the witches while the ball was still
being
coming.
Ideally in the 119 or lower range. And here we get a 105, which is very quick. I'm super happy with this. This is only about 7 seconds slower than my all-time best Erebus exit. So
105.
definitely very good. Here, it's a speed run. We always take Fig Leaf into Oceanus. It's pretty much non-negotiable. It's just got too much
Miss
value.
Veil. Wait, does Miss Veil still work or not?
And it pretty much has to be taken at this stage. Heading into Oceanus.
I don't know if Foolish is going to say it or not, but that's interesting. It's nothing I've never actually tried to do it, but I'm assuming Foolish is trying to force a Light of Ixion there to get a free chamber going to Oceanus, and that's why we rolled the Charon well, not once, but twice.
This is probably the swingiest biome when it comes to like the speed of clearing it. This biome can be anywhere from just 20 seconds
Still got a
to
natural
like a
chaos
full
gate.
minute plus. So many runs came to die in Oceanus. Here I got very lucky with a natural chaos gate in room 1. So I'm already feeling pretty good about this Oceanus. It's one less room to play.
Gotta be careful here.
I just take the magic from this chaos gate. I know I'm going to pick up Born Gain at some point, so having more max magic
Can't really
is
afford
never
a roll.
bad. Here, this is a very good room. It's just a one wave.
Yep.
Into shop.
It gets underestimated sometimes, and you can't see it in the run, right? People will watch something like this and say like, wow, those rooms get cleared so fast. Oh, look at all that damage. The truth is there's just so much RNG behind what types of enemies you get, and enemies have certain difficulty weight, and how many waves of enemies or how many enemies you do get per chamber is determined by the types of enemies you get, because again, they all have different weights. So you might get a bunch of little enemies that keep spawning over and over again. If you get a chamber full of those little snake heads that spawn in the water that don't have armor on them, it's, for a world record run like this, that's pretty much a reset, you know what I mean? But yeah, getting chambers like that,
this Oceanus is going great.
You have to get it.
Absolutely rolling to Hera on this mid boss.
You want Born Gain here.
I need Born Gain. It's pretty much the only really important piece of my build left. As long as I have Born Gain, my damage should
down to
be
2
good
rolls
until like Serb, even if I pick up nothing else. That's just how good Born Gain is. Here we get
early Nemesis,
which is okay. Like, it's a free room, so it's definitely not bad, but you do generally want Nemesis to show up in either Fields or Tartarus, as that's where she saves the most time on average.
Yeah.
But seeing her at all, sometimes it doesn't happen, so you can never really be upset about it.
There's a lot of free chambers that can occur here in Oceanus.
Because when you use Raki,
so you hope to
dig,
get those and you save Nemesis for later.
For the duration of Raki's animation digging. And that helps while Nemesis is doing her thing.
Hold on, let me hear that again, actually. Oh, clever, clever, clever. So while you're waiting for Nemesis here, I mean, this is always assumed, but I was kind of confused how exactly this works, because it doesn't work if you're picking up flowers, unfortunately. But while you are harvesting this resource, it will pause the timer.
These rocks, because when you use Raki,
because you're waiting for Nemesis to declare you the winner, right? You're waiting for Nemesis to declare you a winner, but the timer's running while you're doing that. Using the pickaxe / Rocky there will pause the timer for you to help save a second.
For the duration of Raki's animation digging.
Wow,
and that
instant
helps
egg.
While Nemesis is doing her thing, doing her animation to give you money.
It's so rare just to get 2 egg chambers.
To save some time.
In a run.
And then I get a very quick cocoon room that was lucky into a one-wave room. And now I know the run is very likely to be world record pace.
I feel like it's
This
Ocean
is
Swell.
actually the fastest Oceanus exit I've ever had, going into Sirens at 122. Here I'm debating between Tidal Rain and Ocean Swell. Looking back, Ocean Swell might have been the correct play here, but I was worried about it knocking enemies away from me in fields.
Interesting.
But it's definitely a very good damage up with Possessed Ray. It procs on every Possessed Ray skull. But Tidal Rain certainly isn't bad either, so I'm definitely...
Yeah, I guess, certainly I can't tell what's correct in this situation. I definitely would have been a glut for Ocean Swell there. Like Foolish said, it's free, so In other words, you don't get the extra damage cost with Possessed Ray, but it does trigger with Possessed Ray. So you're getting that free 80 damage every single Possessed Ray trigger.
Not
It's just
upset
insane.
with my choice, but Ocean's Well could have been better.
That's
Here,
so hard to tell.
very good Sirens fight. I have Hitch,
Beautiful
I have Possessed
fight.
Ray.
Insane.
They're all going to die pretty much straight
A
away.
minute
Just making
32.
sure we kill Jetty before she leaves
This would
at the
be
start
a
of the
great
fight, and then it's a very
Hecate exit
simple
for
and
me
easy fight.
personally.
Now, this was a 1:32 Oceanus exit, which is, again, the fastest I've ever had, I believe. I think my old PB
The
for
spark is
Oceanus
interesting
exit was
there.
a 1:40 flat or something.
This
so
is where I lack
nerves
knowledge
definitely
because
started hitting
there's some
at this
funky
stage.
stuff going on here. Like,
I
why
bought
would you
an
buy this
Ixion
chaos?
Going into fields. This isn't really to take. You don't want to take an Ixion into fields unless the first tree that I just entered through has 3 rewards on
Okay,
it.
that's the
If
only
the
reason.
first tree had 3 rewards on it, I would have taken the Ixion because it would have been far more likely for me to get what we call a 2-2 fields, where the 2 encounters I have to play are only 2 rewards each. I'm not going to get too into how that mechanic exactly works. It's a little complicated. I don't fully get it myself, but basically it was just a precaution.
Right. I think okay, so what Foolish is saying there, the Chaos Gate is there in case you get screwed in the first chamber here in Fields is a 3 reward chamber, which is quite rare. It doesn't happen that often. I don't know, maybe like only 1 out of 5 or less times I've seen that happen. If I were to guess there. So yeah, the Chaos Gate is sort of a backup strat there. What was really nice about this room is seeing Foolish, somehow just know that Fig Leaf was going to proc and just rush to the next reward instead of waiting to pick up the
Athena
magic
keeps
and
taking
save some
the fields
time.
as well. I forgot to mention she pauses the timer when she comes down,
Rolling
which
past
is very
Stutter Step
helpful
is
in
really
fields where you're
interesting
moving
there for
around
me.
a
I
lot.
love Stutter Step.
and she slightly shortens one of the encounters. Generally, she's just the best keepsake in the fields. There
In
are
the
a couple
fields.
weapons that'll take Droplet for the channel.
Now
and
we can get
attack
Ocean
speed,
Swell again,
but
maybe.
Medea
Killer
definitely
Current
isn't
is
one of
nice,
them.
though, for the blitz
I
damage.
pick up Killer Current here, which is a pretty good duo. Just increases that blitz damage that I have. Certainly not bad. Here I'm debating between Pom 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 and Reward. I decided to go Reward to pick up that Ocean Swell I passed on earlier, and I get it. It's only common, but again, all extra damage is good damage. And here I take the left door because it has Zeus on it.
Yeah, more double strike would be nice. So ideally there's time to be saved on this run already, you can tell. Because there is a very, very, very small chance that this chamber that we just entered, which has 3 rewards available on it, and you have to take all 3, it would only have 2 rewards available. And thus you'd have 1 less entire combat. So this time could be
Zeus still
lower.
has quite a number of boons that would be quite good, such as Double Strike or even Static Shock. I definitely have the max magic to justify picking up Static Shock despite having possessed. Getting pretty decent encounters here with these enemies that are worth a lot of weight, like the Lycaons and the Shadow Spillers. And I
Oh,
got
this is a
the,
rough combat in this
mini
one.
boss in the
You
last
don't
encounter
want to see
too.
these
There's
blue
2
guys, really. They just keep
quote-unquote
coming.
mini bosses that are technically regular enemies, but there can only be one of them in the encounter in fields. They are by far the best to get in fields encounters to speeds. They are the quickest. Last encounter of fields, again, not an amazing fields by any means. You can definitely get far quicker than this. Again, you can get that 2-2. You can get, really insane setups like 2 small rooms, 2 rewards.
So Foolish probably ran to this exit because it might save time in reality, only like a second maybe, having to go from one door to the other. But also that reward sucked, you know what I mean? The timer pauses in the shop rooms, but it doesn't pause in the chambers with the free reward, I'm afraid. So yeah, that's actually interesting. This is actually a relatively unlucky fields overall, I'd say. Or rather, it's very just it's super average, very average. This is the very, very average field, so it wasn't a lot of luck behind it,
Nemesis, etc.
which is shocking for a world record run
fields,
miles above
which is
every
all I
other run
needed
I've
with
seen.
My obviously insane Oceanus exit. Now on the Zeus boon, I did pass up on Static Shock.
2.5
That was
minutes.
a mistake. I definitely should have taken it.
Oh, I missed it.
In the moment, I had worries about my magic for some reason, even though there was really no worries to be had.
We got Fine Line here
I also
too.
pick up
Same thing as
Fine
Ocean
Line
Swell.
in the end shop from Hera, which is also a decent damage increase. Just adds an extra 100 or so damage to every possessed array proc.
Insane.
Definitely not bad. And good sub fight, actually.
Very
sub
good
fight is
fight.
a pretty big choke point for Midia, I'd say.
If you don't
Midia
have
actually,
possessed array
without,
by
like,
this point in the
possessed array
servers
and
fight,
stuff, it kind of struggles to
it can
scale
take
its
a little
damage
while.
into the late game, and it leans heavily on Antler for Tartarus especially. And Cerberus can be a huge time sink sometimes. It can be up to 20-25 seconds, but that was quite a quick fight. Going into Tartarus at 2:45. Now, Tartarus is
Thunder
on
Rush.
average
Interesting.
between a minute and a minute 20.
Huh.
So I'm pretty comfortable that I should be able to get it at this point. But Tartarus can also be really bad sometimes. I've actually had like a 140 Tartarus before.
You really
And
want
there's
the fig
always
leaf in the
chance
first chamber
of
here.
The fig leaf never proccing too.
Ooh.
So still stressful the whole way through for sure. Here, first room, ideally you want fig leaf to proc in the first room, since the first room is actually, in general, one of the longest rooms.
Yeah.
I actually get pretty lucky though, as it's a pretty quick room by first room standards, and this second room is also very good. Only 2 waves of enemies, pretty quick.
Yeah, not bad. Not perfect, but
Third
not bad.
room, I'm happy
this
to
looks
see
like a nice
these
chamber, you
armored
can tell, 'cause of the
satyrs
armored enemies.
immediately. They're worth a lot of
Nice.
weight. Another 2 wave, only a couple of enemies. Feeling pretty good. Now this room, I thought this was a fig leaf room.
Oh
until
my
I saw
god, where's the
skulls,
fig
and
leaf?
I was a little scared when I saw these skulls. Numbskulls don't have a whole lot of weight, and they spawn very split from each other.
Numbskulls are super annoying because they run away after the
Luckily,
first hit and
every enemy
everything.
in the room was armored,
So you got the last room
which
fig leaf.
takes up more weight, so there's less enemies, so it was a much quicker room.
Wow.
Entering
Foolish just knew the
Chronos
exit.
at
Just knew
under
it.
3:30. Now Chronos should always be under 30 seconds, especially when you have a build like this. So at this stage, I am pretty confident I
Roll
have
for
the
static?
run, as long as I don't die.
You cannot.
is the main
Thunder Rush
thing.
came back.
And as you'll see, I definitely should have played this fight a little safer, as it gets a little nerve-wracking by the end. I have the damage for this fight to be like 25 seconds or less, depending on Chronos RNG. There's
some
a few
moves
things
that
you
will
can do
waste
slow
time
down
on
it
you.
by a bit, but 30 seconds is a pretty comfortable amount of time to have.
I make the same mistake as Foolish. I get scared of static shock when we're doing big
mistake.
magic stuff like this, right?
I only have 1 left going into the second half of P1, and I lose my third one there too. So now I've got no protection, which is terrifying. I actually take 2 hits, almost dying.
You got the damage for the
now
skip,
1 hit away
but
from death going into P2, and I'm very
3
nervous
health.
about it. I actually mess up my movement slightly here, but it doesn't really matter. My damage is enough to damage to phase him instantly anyway.
Wow, that one last scythe swing. Can you imagine the sheer devastation? That one last swing of the scythe from Chronos could have easily been the end of the run. You know what I mean? It happens right after Chronos comes out of the phase,
Anyway.
right there. But Foolish managed to put himself on the exact other side at the last second there while still just doling out the damage. Holy shit.
And we get it. Definitely, absolutely terrified at the end there. I was very worried he was going to do a dash, which
You
is
would
a
have
lot
quit
harder
speedrunning?
to deal with without taking damage. But we got it in 3:54, no less. My old sub 4 from
That
Early
is
Access
crazy.
was 3:59, I believe. So a decent improvement too. There's definitely
There's time to save, too. There was a whole extra combat in Morning Fields that could be saved. Not easily, you know what I mean? We're asking for a big lineup of RNG by asking for that. I mean, Tartarus definitely could have been better, I feel. It definitely seems like Tartarus could have been better. I'm not really mentioning, I'm mostly mentioning the RNG side of things and not like how Foolish could have been better. You know what I mean? Because I don't think it gets better than Foolish at the end of the day. You know what I mean? But looking at the RNG side of things, like the Fig Leaf and where it procced exactly in Tartarus and some of the waves of enemies you had there, I feel like it definitely could have been better. There was a couple of combats in the Morning Fields that were a little bit rough. But yeah, Morning Fields, like, this could be like this could be like a 3, probably almost a 3:30 if I were to guess, you know what I mean? And this game is so young too, right? It hasn't even been 60 days since it came out. Not to mention since the leaderboard reset that we had. You know, that's only been like 2 weeks. It's crazy. It's only been 2 weeks or something like that since we had a leaderboard reset. I think not even, if I were to guess, but holy shit. What a wild run. Just seeing that in action. You know, it's just night and day versus how it feels when I just play the game, you know, honestly. Oh, man. That Nemesis chamber in Oceanus? Yeah, so imagine... Wait, did we get scammed for the fig leaf in Oceanus? I didn't even notice. I was probably talking too much. Because that's crazy. So you'd swap out the Nemesis encounter for the fig leaf. And then you'd get the Nemesis encounter in like Tartarus or something like that. And that's probably another God knows how many seconds saved. Holy shit. Foolish proving why he is the winner of my beautiful Honda Cup. You know what I mean? Oh my God. That's crazy. Yeah, not to mention, we haven't really talked about it. With patch 1.1, they removed the ability to see Nemesis twice per run. It was pretty likely you saw her twice in one run prior to this, and now it's impossible for it to happen. You only get Nemesis once per run nowadays, and it could be a variety of things. It could be actually kind of detrimental, what she does in terms of time saves there, but wow, what a crazy run. What a wild run. Chat, make sure you go show some love to Foolish. Make sure you go subscribe, like, leave a comment for me. Say, Papa's got you on lock. Oh, don't say those things, though, you know. But say something to Foolish for me, okay? Thank you so much, Foolish, for allowing us to watch this video. Hope you show some love to him. All right, let's go.